Hello, it's Anders here on Time and Crown channel. Today the full review of my brand new purchase. This is the brand new Tissot PRX Powermatic 38mm in titanium. This is, in my opinion, the right move from Tissot. So they did a 35mm version of the PRX, then they did a 40mm version. I tried and tested and reviewed both of those sizes here on the channel. 35mm was too small, 40mm simply felt too big. So now it's kind of the middle ground, and let's have a closer look at the brand new Tissot. This is just released. And here we have the watch. So this is the gray version. You can also find a Damascus steel version on a leather strap, and then you can find this watch in titanium with a blue dial. So if you want a more sporty version, probably the blue dial is the choice for you. It comes in this very simple cardboard box. Don't buy this watch if you really want high quality watch boxes. I did size it to my wrist size. So here you have the crazy Tissot reference number and the retail price, 875 euros. I bought this online via Chronos24 from an Italian dealer, and I paid approximately 804 euros. So I got a nice little discount there. They did beef up the prices a bit compared to the 40mm versions. If you do like the bigger versions of this watch, you can find them a lot cheaper than this new version, but I really wanted to try it in titanium and also in the 38mm size. And I must say, after I have been wearing this watch, it is the perfect size. It makes this watch feel so much more classy, and it's such a joy to wear. So let me just give you some information. It measures 38mm in diameter. If you just measure the case, you get 43.2mm. If you include the male end links here from the integrated bracelet, you get 49.3mm. You get a height of 11.3mm. Then you have a very nice taper of the bracelet from approximately 25mm at the case down to 17mm by the butterfly clasp here. That is a really nice taper, and it really just gives the watch a really nice wear on the wrist. You see Tissot here at the clasp. So again, this is the new 2025 model. This is in titanium, so it is very light. Actually, with all the links on this watch, it only weighs approximately 83 grams. And it almost feels like you're not wearing a watch when you're wearing this watch. I did remove two links. I have a 17cm wrist circumference. So if you have a very large wrist, just be aware that you will maybe have trouble wearing this watch because only two links removed to fit my wrist, so you don't get a lot of real estate on the bracelet. So it is the typical Tissot integrated bracelet here. I do like the shine and the kind of darker texture on the titanium models of the PRX. Simple brushing, a nice polishing here, and a nice polished bezel, flat sapphire crystal with AR treatment, push and pull signed crown. And on the other side here you can see all the information, and you can see the Powermatic 80 movement. So this is one of the newer versions of the Powermatic 80 movement. It beats at 21,600 vibrations per hour, and it has 80 hours of power reserve and a Nevercron hairspring to prevent magnetism. They don't do much with the decoration, it's just the rotor they apply. But this is a kind of entry-level watch. Also, a really nice feature here is that you actually get these easy removal spring bars here. This bracelet removal system from Tissot. So if at some point they do introduce a rubber strap or a leather strap for a 38mm versions of this watch, or you can go aftermarket, then you can easily change between straps. This would look really, really nice on a leather strap to just make it a much more dressy watch. The watch has 100 meters of war resistance and Swiss Superluminova loom in the indices and the hands. I struggled to actually get some nice video of the loom. The loom is very weak, especially in the hour markings, the indices. The hands are okay, and I must say that is definitely a disappointment with this watch. They should have just applied a little more loom to the hour markings. This is essentially a 1970s inspired sports watch. but you don't get that much sports watch out of this when it has such bad lume. So that is definitely a thing to consider if you really need strong lume on your watch. And also let's just talk about the dial. So this is the gray dial. It has this kind of silvery texture, this kind of waffle style or Clou de Paris dial you see. And then you have gold toned hands, gold toned frame of the date window at 3 o'clock and gold toned to the hour markings. And this just makes this watch look very classy and quite vintage in my opinion, and that is why I chose this color. The blue is definitely for the more sporty look, the more modern look. I wanted a more kind of all-rounder, more diverse look to this watch. So it is a sports watch, but you can use it as an everyday watch or dress watch as well. And here you have the watch on my 17 centimeter wrist circumference. It definitely does wear big for a 38mm sized watch, and that is the same issue with the 40mm. I did review several versions of the 40mm version of the PRX, and I did own the gold one, and I ended up selling that one because it was simply too big. It is kind of a square watch, and it kind of sits very large and flat on your wrist. So if you like very rounded, very kind of classic looking watches, this is probably not for you. It is kind of a watch with a lot of sharp angles, kind of brutal design. But in 38mm it wears really nicely on my 17 centimeter wrist circumference, and just be aware, it does wear bigger on screen, on video, than it does in real life. I really do like that it's made of titanium because it just wears so nicely on the wrist. Also the light play with the bracelet here, that is something I really enjoy. So let's start with the minuses. I definitely think that they should start applying screws to make it much easier to remove links. It wasn't a big trouble. It's not like trying to adjust a Seiko bracelet or something like that. It actually was very easy. And a very nice thing is that you actually get half links, so you can get a better fit, but you don't get any sort of micro adjustment. And if removing half links isn't enough for you, then you have trouble actually sizing this watch to your wrist. Now another minus in my opinion is that the lume is simply too weak on this watch. As I mentioned earlier in this video, they should definitely have done more with the lume. And the third thing is that it is in some lighting situations kind of hard to actually read the time. It is like just this sunburst effect on the silver dial here, the gray silver dial, with the gold indices and the gold hands, especially the indices. In some lighting situations it actually becomes a little bit hard to read the time, and it also becomes a little bit hard to actually read what is printed on the dial. So that was 3 minuses. Let's talk about 3 pluses. Definitely the size. So the size is absolutely perfect. This makes this watch feel like a 39 or 40mm watch, and it makes it feel like wearing kind of a delicate vintage watch, although it is a tough sports watch essentially. So I really do like the size. I really do enjoy the titanium. I like the look, the kind of darker tone of the titanium, and also this watch being so light. So that is another plus. And the third plus in my opinion is the versatility of this watch. This particular version, in my opinion, it is both a dress watch, an everyday watch, and also a sports watch. So I can use this watch in many different occasions. They did beef up the prices, so if you think you can wear a 40mm or a 35mm and you are content with a stainless steel version, have a look at Chrono24 or eBay or even online deals, because they are quite nicely priced. The 40mm versions, these ones are quite expensive still, but if you wait maybe 3 or 4 months, you should be able to get a more affordable example of this watch. So I hope you enjoyed the full view of the brand new Tissot PRX Powermatic 80 in 38mm size, built in titanium. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment down below. Please do subscribe to my channel, and I will see you very soon again. Thank you. Bye.